top 10 horror movies on Netflix. Are you missing the adrenaline rush you get from riding a roller coaster? If you want your senses to tingle from the comfort of your home, you might be looking for a great horror film. A good scary story can be a great experience if it's something special and original, so we've compiled a list of the best ones you can watch right now on Netflix. Hey guys, welcome to your entertainment channel Netflix Tops, where we tell you about the top-rated movies and series on Netflix. So grab your popcorn and stay with us until the end of the video, because in today's video, we are going to list down the top 10 horror movies on Netflix. So let's get started. Number 10. In what could be considered a satire on the genre, as well as the art-buying community, Velvet Buzzsaw is a gory romp of jump-scare antics and well-known celebrity cameos. For those who value art commerce over art quality, the recently discovered art of Ventril Dease might literally blow your mind, at least if Velvet Buzzsaw is to be believed. In this movie, a satire is set in the contemporary art world scene of Los Angeles, where big-money artists and mega-collectors pay a high price when art collides with commerce. So after paintings by an unknown artist are discovered, a supernatural force enacts revenge on those who have allowed their greed to get in the way of art. Number 9. A 2019 horror film titled Girl on the Third Floor is directed by Travis Stevens. Reviewers took note of the command of the genre of newcomer director Travis Stevens, as well as the convincing portrayal of the main character by professional wrestler and mixed martial artist Phil Brooks. In addition, the film received praise by critics for its wonderful and gross usage of practical special effects from UK designer Daniel Martin. It tells the story of an unfaithful husband who is renovating a mansion for his family, where he is tormented by ghostly appearances, visions, and painful experiences that begin to drive him mad in this excellent update to the familiar haunted house genre. What allows Girl on the Third Floor to separate itself from similar fare is ultimately a psychological twist that culminates in a violent ending. Number 8. With a surprisingly successful blend of comedy and horror, Vampires vs. the Bronx is in the mold of the social horror movies that have become more common in recent years. It is a 2020 American comedy horror film directed by Oz Rodriguez, and a perfect low-stakes horror that pokes fun at the extinction so many communities are facing right now in major cities. But it's also just a super fun vampire flick. The movie features a group of teens who band together to save their neighborhood from the throes of poverty and crime, only to realize that the gentrification occurring in their neighborhood is being caused by blood-sucking vampires. Number 7. Aided by an original and concise plot, Hush creates an ever-growing sense of suspense that tops the charts of the oversaturated home invasion horror subgenre. It is a 2016 American slasher film directed and edited by Mike Flanagan, and starring Kate Siegel, who also co-wrote the film with Flanagan. In this movie, a deaf and mute writer decides that the best place to do her work is alone in a house in the forest, which is the perfect place for a psychotic stalker to have some sadistic fun. However, things turn bad when a mysterious man stalks her every day and plans on killing her. Number 6. From a story by Felicity Evans and Toby Vendables, His House is a 2020 horror thriller film written and directed by Remy Weeks. It is a psychological thriller that contains some truly unexpected twists. The movie revolves around a couple that flee their home in South Sudan and barely escape death, and are allowed to live in England as asylum seekers, but they are required to live in a house from the government's choosing that turns out to be haunted, reminding them of the dark journey they have already taken. In addition to being genuinely terrifying, His House also provides some trenchant commentary on the international refugee crisis and how countries have responded to it. Number 5. A sequel to The Strangers 2008, The Strangers Prey at Night is a 2018 American slasher thriller film directed by Johannes Roberts. Okay, so this is more of a best scene than best movie. In full honesty, the first half of The Strangers Prey at Night is a bit of a still drag, and not much of anything that the characters do make much sense. But, oh boy, the second half of the movie is a wild bit of throwback fun. And the film's highlight sequence is a 5-minute fight scene set in and around a neon-lit pool with Total Eclipse of the Heart full-on blasting in the background. It's a great piece of pop horror, colorful, fun, and thrilling, and it's the cherry on top of a final act that makes the first bits worth trudging through. Number 4. A natural evolution of the found footage format in our digital era, the filmmaking approach dubbed Screen Life presents a movie entirely from the perspective of computer, tablet, and smartphone screens, and the haunted Skype horror movie Unfriended was one of the first Screen Life movies to break through with mainstream audiences. It's easy to see why. Most of us spend our lives on screens anyway, and that mode of storytelling offers filmmakers access to all the little secrets we try to tuck away in our deleted texts and secret files. In this movie, following the suicide of a classmate after online bullying, a group of teens finds themselves picked off one by one during their digital hangout by an inescapable malicious spirit. It sounds kinda goofy, and sometimes it kinda is, but Unfriended works better than you might expect. And now that we're all forced to hang out virtually anyway, now's a perfect time for a revisit. Number 3. Netflix has tapped into the well that is Stephen King in a big way. But with the adaptation of Into Tall Grass, they've also got a handle on the next generation of horror authors with Joe Hill. In the Tall Grass is a 2019 Canadian supernatural horror drama film written and directed by Vincenzo Natali. The premise is simple. Passers-by are called into a vast field of tall grass by people pleading for help, only to be unable to find their way back out again. But since this is a king and son joint, abject horror obviously waits for them among the greenery. In the movie, a brother and sister enter a field of tall grass to rescue a boy, but they soon realize they cannot escape and something evil lurks in the grass. Number 2. If you thought Your Next was a breath of fresh air to the horror genre, might I suggest that film's director/writer combo's follow-up, in another twist on the action thriller genre called The Guest. One part Terminator and one part classic John Carpenter. The film stars Downton Abbey alum Dan Stevens as a creepy, potentially sinister war veteran who shows up unexpectedly at a home of one of his fellow soldiers who died in battle. The family can't decide if the titular guest's intentions are good, bad, or a little bit of both. But as far as the audience is concerned, this is a wildly entertaining riff on classic tropes with a cheeky finale that'll leave you smiling. So if you're in the mood for something thrilling, a little scary, and a lot of fun, look no further. Number 1. This wouldn't be a proper horror movie watch list without a creepy doll, now would it? Move over, Chucky. Annabelle is in vogue. A prequel to 2014's Annabelle and the fourth installment in the Conjuring Universe franchise, Annabelle Creation is a 2017 American supernatural horror film directed by David F. Sandberg. In the movie, the manufacturer of dolls, Samuel Mullins, is a happy family man with his wife Esther and their daughter Bea, who dies after being hit by a car. 12 years later, Samuel and his wife Esther welcomes a nun and 6 orphan girls into his home. He tells that only a locked room that belongs to Bea and Esther's room could be off limits for the girls. The crippled girl, Janice, manages to sneak in Bea's room during the night and finds a doll locked inside of a closet. After she plays in the room, she is haunted by an evil force. What has Janice unleashed in Bea's room? Watch this amazing movie to find out more. And this brings us to the end of the video. What are your thoughts on today's video? Share with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for amazing movie reviews coming your way. And thank you for watching.